Hey guys, it's me again. Just finished training at college. Whew. Guys with different jiu-jitsu backgrounds, different levels, black belt sizes. It's probably the smallest guy there. I'm about 170. First thing in the morning, got up at 6:30, got ready. Kids were at the mom's house, or the grandma's house, and then so I had that time to get up that early and go. Just dreading to get. I was like, oh, the bed's so comfortable. Exhausted. Yeah, I was dreading it. Come in, it's like, oh, I'd rather just come up with an excuse. It's so much easier. And I'm so glad I came, because now I'm wide awake. I feel so good. Man, like, it's good getting to roll with other body types and levels, and there's, different people have different methods. Their jiu-jitsu, there's a certain position that they like, or a certain method on how they do things. The more, pressure passing, or the more maneuverable, things like that. And I got a taste of it all, right? And then there's counters to my counters, and it's just this back and forth chess game. And like, thank God I went. All the stresses and all the thought process was going through my head. How's my day going to be, going to work and things like that. Didn't even matter, didn't care. Like, more and more first responders need to train. Like, it's so important. Like, whatever it is you do, CrossFit or weightlift, that's great, it's super beneficial. But in our line of work, specifically law enforcement, jiu-jitsu is the way to go. Like, the ability to control a subject without harming them, even if you choke them out. I mean, it's not allowed where I work. I don't understand why. I kind of do. I understand the argument, because obviously there could be long-term effects. Don't know what kind of drugs or medications the person's on that you're dealing with, and I get it. But you see in the UFC, these guys, they're choked out, but then they come to, and everything's back to normal, right? They just went for a sleep for a few seconds. That's it, right? So I get it. But even forget that aspect of it, because obviously when the person's passed out, it's just easier to control, cuff them, sit them straight, recovery position, stuff like that. But with when I roll with someone who's never done jiu-jitsu, and they do whatever instinct comes within them, the amount of control I have over them, it's no matter the size. Like, they'll use their muscle for so long, but once they're exhausted, now they're in my world. And like, there's a saying, like, most people don't know how to swim, and I think it's John Machado. He said most people don't know how to swim, and I'm a shark in the ocean, right? And so if you're gonna roll with him, and the mat's the ocean, you're gonna tread water for so long, but then the shark's coming, right? So everyone in training jiu-jitsu is trying to be that shark. But I'd even coming to the train, like, I was dreading it and all that stuff, but now that it's all done, it's like, I don't even know why I was even dreading it. Like, there's that small, comfortable feelings, like, I just want to be comfortable and lay in bed and chill. The kids are gone, I just want to sleep in, kind of thing. But now it's just like, after training, it's like my head feels clearer. Like, I don't even know why I was even thought of it, right? I mean, most of the times I wish I can go, obviously, with kids or family's all, big factor and stuff like that. But when I can go, I'm so glad I do go. Just the amount of mental clarity that helps. It's like this form of meditation, I'd have to say. And I'm so glad. And you don't have anything else you can't think of anything else, because the person in front of you is going to armbar you, choke you, they're going to submit you, essentially. So all the other problems that you thought you had are minimal, because the person in front of you is trying to kill you. And obviously it's a safe environment. Usually with the jiu-jitsu, it's like you want to, you give a high five and then bump. And it's basically, it's a sign of respect. No one's here to hurt anyone. If it does happen, obviously, I've been injured a few times. Bruised ribs and things like that. Sucks. Nothing broken. Haven't been choked out. Close to, though. But that's why there's that saying, tap, snap, or nap. Right? And it's just such a good ego check, because you'd be thinking, you go in there thinking this smaller person or older person or younger person, whatever the case is, that your ego is, salivating over. Don't undermine the enemy or the opponent, right? Because you don't know what they have, what they're capable of, and things like that, right? You might be meeting up with John Wick, right? There's some videos on YouTube like this undercover black belts, so they pretend they're white belts and stuff like that, and then they're just destroying everyone. No one knows why, right? But that's it. The beneficial jiu-jitsu, like, you start off with a white belt and there's a big ego check, and in my opinion, the strongest mentally will endure it. Because most people, let's just say there's a guy who's jacked and goes in and gets destroyed by, a guy half his size. You might think of one of two things. F this place, this is BS, and his ego overwhelmed him. Or his ego got checked. He's like, wow, I'm lacking in this field. I need to improve, right? So there's that. And then once usually when you get a white belt, you're trying to learn. And when you're getting destroyed, your excuse is like, I'm a white belt, I don't know any better, right? And then you get your blue belt, which is where I'm at. I'm a senior blue belt, so 4 stripe. Your ego comes in, it's like, I can't wait to destroy these white belts. Like, I got a blue belt, I'm unstoppable, blah, blah, blah. You're like a teenager, essentially. And sometimes you get checked, you're like, what the hell? Where this one white belt was rolling with, and just completely controlling me. Now I was just like, what the hell? What's going on here? Alright? Is my jiu-jitsu wrong? Like, I should have some sort of more dominant control. And you find out he's, a wrestler. His dad was a coach for the Russian Olympics or something like that. And it's just like, makes sense. He couldn't finish any submissions, but I couldn't, recover. He's just all over me. But again, you don't know, right? So it was, again, I didn't go in there with the ego like, what the fuck, this is BS. I was in there trying to figure out why and how. Is it me? Am I just having a bad day, right? Things like that. And with life, sometimes you have bad days, right? I forgot my lunch. Traffic is backed up. There's an accident, I'm gonna be late. I got a headache, I'm sick. And things just pile up. It's like, today's the worst day, blah, 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 right? Yes, some days are like that. But the pros outweigh the cons, right? There's always better days ahead, right? And then I think they're all tests, right? Like, you've had a bad day. I'm like, okay, let's see how, whatever higher being you believe in, let's see how well, he does through this really bad day. And I think that's the one thing I love about stoicism, right? There's some things you can change, and I think those things that you can't change, just let it go, right? It is what it is, kind of thing. I love flow waters, it's so good. And the thing with jiu-jitsu, it's a chess game, and you don't know what your opponent is capable of. You don't know what they know. The the more you train jiu-jitsu, it's like more tools in your toolbox. So when you see someone, different level, you kind of have an understanding of what tools they have in their toolbox. And I'm just in love with the knowledge. Just like I just want to be fed. And obviously, most people say they've forgotten more things than they've learned in jiu-jitsu because there's so much information. It's constantly evolving. So it's, even with, I'll take chances with the lower belt, put myself, if I have a question, will this work? And it's time to, figure it out and test whether this chest move works or not. And sometimes it works with the lower belts, and it may work with the higher belts, depending on how well you've mastered that position, right? I'd rather learn that one move 1,000 times than learn 1,000 moves, right? And obviously it's just this, there's a counter to that counter, and it's just this back and forth chess game, right? And just, Joe Rogan mentions it's like a nerd assassins, right? There's a lot of guys who, accountants, and such, these nerdy jobs, quote unquote, right? And they're lethal if you catch them on a bad day. And the environment's, it's super awesome. Obviously there's bad schools and bad apples as well, but the amount of respect everyone has with each other, everyone just wants to teach and help learn. And like, I personally give out all my moves. I tell them this is what I'm going to do, and here's what my goal is, and I tell them because they're going to try to counter it. Now I got to figure out the problem and counter to that counter, and it's just back and forth, right? And just constant problem solving, right? And my line of work, that's all we do is solve problems, right? So I just, I wish I could do it all day, every day. Lately, I've been going once or twice a week, and I want to go more. I've been training at work as well during my lunch, and that's obviously beneficial. As a black belt, high competitive, and taking advantage of him as much as I can, when I can, and it's so good. And I wish more and more people in my line of work would do it. Like, I train at work, I'm trying to advertise and kind of show display, like we're kind of in this atrium and trying to show, it's like, yeah, this, come on. And some decide to go. We're slowly growing. I just hope it's, the mats should be full all the time. Like, I think it's a lot of it's just ego. It's like, oh, I don't want to look like an idiot. Well, you're going to look like an idiot if you don't know what you're doing when you're dealing with someone who might know something, or that person might not know anything. And hey, you just come out and trained. You would have known that little bit, that cherry on top, that would have helped you, deal with that situation, right? And I'd rather look like an idiot on the mat than outside. Like, there's a samurai saying, cry in the dojo and laugh on the battlefield. And it's 100% right. You want to just take advantage of that opportunity and get destroyed by it. At least you get comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? You get in these weird positions and stuff. And but it's like, because you're constantly in this dogfight when you're training, when it comes to reality, you're going to be able to go through a lot of this stuff, and that's going to be your comfort zone, because you're so comfortable with being uncomfortable that you're like, it's just another day on the mats, right? And I don't know if I should put posters up at work and don't be that person, right? Be an asset, right? Be an asset, right? Imagine going to a call and just trying to help a friend out or a coworker, and you don't know what to do. I don't know. I'm just holding, those accountable. You're in a position where it's where you're gonna you're obviously, hands-on on someone, it's a lot. You're taking their rights away and stuff like that. And it's a big decision, right? But when there's no way of talking down to them, or de-escalating, anything like that, nothing's going to work. You have to go hands-on no matter. Nothing works. You just have to. What are you going to do? You know, it's good you have these use of force options, but I feel like coppers, they go into these calls, the mindset is like, well, I have these use of force options, this sense of power. But I try to tell a lot of the newer guys, pretend you're going to a call and you have no use of force options. How would you deal with that situation? Because now you have to deal with it mentally. You have to talk to them. Those use of force options are used for just in case. There's no other choice. I had to do it, right? And you know, so I mean, again, people who've had police involved shootings, things like that, I don't know what's going through their head. Obviously, I don't know their level of comfort. But just because you can shoot the person, do you have to? Now, I'm not judging those who pull the trigger. Not at all. I get it. There's some that's like, there was no other choice, right? But here's some officers I've heard stories from where they're like, yeah, I felt like I could have shot him. Well, if you felt like you could have, did you have to? So the whole point of pulling that trigger is there was no other choice. I had to, right? Taking a life is not easy, right? So it's not natural for us, right, to do that. We're social beings. So to do it, it does have an effect. And there's a lot of videos on YouTube. You see coppers, just complete the strut. Like, I just killed someone, right? There's no preparedness for that. So that could have a huge impact with PTSD, right? A lot of sleepless nights, right? Now, I'm not saying jiu-jitsu is the end all and the problem, or solve all those problems, but it's another tool in the toolbox. And I think that's the biggest key that a lot of law enforcement services, they need to emphasize on that. It's whether, it's once a week, you have to learn a certain technique, whatever the case is, mandated, whatever it has to be. The kind of mandates, are required, right? Those are the kind of mandates. And just for the physical aspect, like the fitness level, like it's the only workout I do, and I'm starting to get shredded. And if you have a good rolling session, like a good hour, an hour and a half, you can burn 1,000 calories easily. It's a lot of pushing and pulling and like leverage, and like mind starts to go, and like it's so effective, right? And like I can't talk enough about it. There's so much of videos. Like Jocko Willenick is a big proponent in black belt. Obviously he's been doing it since the 90s. Really good. Like, I don't know. I guess the services, they see Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and they think of UFC and this blood sport and bloodbath and blah blah blah, right? But there's, men are designed to, constantly chasing goals, and or this warrior mindset, right? So it's more of an art form, and those who are in it understand that. Those who are not in it don't understand. They think it's just guys who just want, barbarians, and obviously there are people like that, right? But those don't last long, because if you're going with that, lizard brain, monkey brain mindset, you're gonna get destroyed. They're gonna weather that storm, and you're gonna be tired, and then it's over, right? So, anyways, that's just my 2 cents with jiu-jitsu. Find a school nearby if you can. If you don't know whether school is good or bad, message me on Instagram's The Stoic Global, and I can look up. There's a few coppers I know in the States, and as well here in Canada. I can ask around, right? And I can find out for you whether that school is good or not. Currently I'm at Toronto Gracie Jiu-Jitsu and Rev MMA. Great school. Bit of a distance, but it's really good. Great instructor, Joel Burson, and yeah. But anyways, I'm at my work, and until the next time, all right? Talk to you guys later.